Hi friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you guys enjoyed my last video, but this video that I'm making today is a lot about friendships, and specifically friendships that you should be looking out for and ones maybe that you should avoid, or friendships that maybe you should go for. Sorry, my chair is like a little bit weird in this recording. I just didn't like how it looked. But basically this video, so I've lived in a lot of different places, and one of the biggest things that I've noticed is it does not matter if your friend is 1,000 miles away, a real friend, or if they are right in your back door or like your neighbor, or just the person right down the street who's your friend, who calls himself your friend. Friends can really make or make or break your experience with something. This is a hard lesson that I've had to learn as somebody who I absolutely love being surrounded by women. I prefer to be around more women than men, and it's been a very hard lesson to learn that not all women like other women, and that's okay. And sometimes you just have to accept that and move on. There are women that prefer to just be in the company of men. They don't like other girls for whatever their reasoning is, or their trauma experiences, or maybe they've seen or witnessed something that I haven't before. And so because of that, I should really light this candle. This candle is like so cute. But because of that, they've had different experiences. They have had different things happen to them that maybe they are just, working through, and they're not quite ready yet to be friends with other girls. That doesn't mean that you still can't show them kindness, to say, you weren't the person who was in the wrong, or maybe, you were sticking up for yourself, and in the end, you can be the bad guy in the villain story, as I always like to say. But I think that the biggest thing that I've found for my relationships that have lasted the longest, my friendships that we had such a good connection and still do have a great connection, the first foremost thing is a Jesus-centered friendship. These women tend to just not only be some of the most beautiful individuals inside and out, they are just wholeheartedly, when your main focus is God, you can really see the works that God does in their life. The second thing that I always look for in a friendship is I want my friends to be better than me. If you are my friend, more than likely you are better at me than something. Actually, you are better than me at something. For example, one of my really good friends, she is going to med school to become a doctor. She's one of the most intelligent people when she walks in a room, quite literally so smart. You can ask her a question about anything and she will just know. Science-wise, she's so smart. One of my other friends, I'm also a teacher. She's a teacher as well. I always go to her for advice because she's been teaching for much longer than I have, and she knows her stuff. She just really knows how to connect with kids, and so it's just fascinating to watch her work and grow and see all the things that she's blessed with and that she can do. Another one of my friends, again in the science realm, she is incredibly intelligent. She's gone on to get multiple degrees, and we always talk about God, our relationship with God, and just her and all the tests that she's had to do, and just how intelligent she is. I see the things that she's studying. I remember when we used to room together, her whole side of her bedroom wall would just be filled up with papers and stuff that she was studying. She'd literally tape them on her wall so she could see it night and day, and she was constantly memorizing different things that she had to learn for that week or for school. And I was like, oh my gosh, she inspired me to do and put them up on my wall. So having friendships that truly you want your friend to be better than you, and for some people that's going to sound really intimidating. You're going to be whoa, that what, that's weird. But you are a sum of the three people that you hang out with. I've heard multiple millionaires say this, and even billionaires, you show me your friends and I'll show you your future. It's so unbelievably true. If you want a good future, hang out with good people. And that's not to say that you need to judge people, but if somebody is not helping you along your path, or if somebody is hindering you and they're being soul sucking and they're just a leech or a fiend, or they just want something from you, that's not a give and take, that's just a take. And I'm not saying that the really amazing friends that I have, there has been days where we both gave and take, but at the end of the day, it's a balance of both. Maybe they were coming to me for advice, and I've definitely come to them for advice about something, or maybe I needed a ride somewhere, they needed a ride somewhere, but way deeper than that. But it ultimately does come down to helping each other and helping each other to grow. So do these friends, my friends that live, thousands of miles away in the other states that I've lived, do they still support me in everything that I do? Do I know that I could call them right now, and although I can't see them, I know that they would help me through whatever I'm going through? There's a big difference between the person, that's why online it's so interesting, because some people will support you and they've never even met you, whereas your quote unquote bestie that you have won't even talk to you when you post something new or when you're trying to do something new. It's very fascinating. And when you watch people's mannerisms and their body language, believe them the first time. When you see something that's a red flag, believe it and walk away. And I have struggled with this for so long because I just love to be around other women. I prefer, like I said at the beginning of the video, I prefer to be around other girls. So this is something that, guys, I'm so sorry, I have to switch this up. The seashell needs to be over here. Do we like the way that looks? Yeah, it's a cute seashell. Anyways, I have struggled with this for a long time because I think that girls can do no wrong. And so I'm constantly just like, oh, like, it'll be fine. It'll get better. It'll be, it'll be okay in the end. Also, this is a seashell chair behind me too. So I think it kind of looks cuter with the seashell. What do we think? I don't know. Let me know. But this is something that I've struggled with for such a long time. And, finally coming to that realization, like, hey, people mess up and people hurt other people. But the cool thing about Earth is that I get to pick who hurts me and how hard they hurt me and how long they get to hurt me. You do have access to all of those choices, and you do get to decide for yourself what you want to do and who you want to hang out with. And this took me almost all the way up until my frontal lobe has developed. I'm going to be turning 24 this next week. Yeah, because it's such a hard concept, especially when you're surrounded by the women in my family are amazing. So to me, they can never do any wrong, and they never have done any wrong. So it's just like, I hold all women to just this high standard of like, oh my gosh, like they're so amazing. Not that we aren't amazing, but just, because I was raised around such intelligent, smart, just go-getting women, that it's like, oh, okay, like all women are like that. When in reality, it's like, no, like some of them are gonna hurt you. Like some of them, and then even goes, for guys who have been cheated on by girls, or, just things they've experienced too, like they can in fact hurt you. And that's not to say that we can't learn from those experiences and we can't grow and I can't show them grace, I try very hard not to hate anybody, and I hope that nobody hates me. But at the end of the day, it's just, learning from that experience and growing with it. A friend that really truly supports you will always be there for you, no matter how many states away you've moved, no matter if you're on a different continent or not, they will always be there for you and they will always have your back. And they will always support you, and that shows. I'm not even talking about like in the comment section of your video, of your post or your Snapchat that you just posted. Like, it's not even that. It's, they will support you through like your absolute, for example, this is a great example. I completely crashed out. I was doing way too many things at once. And I decided that on the day that I crashed out, it would be such a great idea if I dyed my hair. I've never self-dyed my hair. I've never even helped dye somebody else's hair, except for once when I was in a college dorm. So I thought it would be a great idea to dye my own hair. No. So what actually ended up happening was my roots turned bright orange because I was trying to make it like more blonder. The ends were fine, and I was just lucky that I didn't fry off my own hair. But my hair, the roots, all orange. Bright orange. Not even like you're thinking like, oh, it just needed a toner. No, like an orange cat orange. That's what it reminded me of. And so I called up my friend who's back in Ohio. She has, again, friends, like you need somebody who's better than you. This girl can work masters with hair. I've never seen anybody do the things that she can do. And she completely got all of the orange out of my hair. She is amazing with hair, and I love hair. I think hair is just like, I think it's like a blessing. I think, not that like with or without hair, you're not blessed. Like that's not what I'm saying. But like, I just think that like my hair for me is something that's very like near and dear to me. I like my hair. I like to curl it. I like to straighten. I like to do like different things with it. So for me, like it turning orange caused, as it would for, a lot of girls, just like a full-blown mental breakdown. So it added to the crash out. So I called her. I'm at an absolute like lowest moment of my day, probably of my month. And I'm just like, hey, I completely just like turned my hair orange. And she's like, okay, just cover it with a hat. You're coming back to Ohio. My friend lives in Ohio. I live in South Carolina. She's like, you're coming back to Ohio soon. Just cover it with a hat. We're going to get you fixed up. Now you might ask, why didn't you just wait until you went back to Ohio to have her dye it? Because I was crashing out, right? So, fast forward, she fixes it. It looks beautiful. It looks gorgeous. She puts an amazing toner on it. It's like a nice, like blonde color. It's gorgeous, right? We love her. But your friend, like she wasn't judging me. I mean, I was full blown sobbing to her in this FaceTime. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, like what am I gonna do? Like I'm freaking out. And she's like, Elena, like calm down. Like I got you. We're gonna fix this. I can fix you. And just like having a friend that can be there for you in like those instances when you are completely crashed out. I mean, I'm talking like mascara running down my face, fresh out of the shower. Like I was just an absolute wreck. And she's like, no, I'm going to fix you. Like, it's fine. That is a true friend. And one of the biggest verses that comes to me, like if you even like open your Bible, there's a lot of verses. And by the way, this is from Amazon. She's so cute. She's $17. Don't get it from Barnes and Noble. It was like 30 something dollars. There on Amazon. It's only 17. So shout out Amazon. One of the coolest verses there is like iron sharpens iron. And I was like, oh my gosh, like she made me feel so much better when I walked out of the salon. There's been a lot of other instances too where I've had to deal with like awful breakups, just like things that I've gone through, and my friends have quite literally picked me back up and put me together when I'm like on the bathroom floor sobbing. And you know, like I would do the same for them any day of the week. And so that is a big one that sticks out to me. There's a lot of verses too in Proverbs if you're looking for like, I guess, Christian girly friends. That is one thing that I did put on my prayer board, which by the way, if you guys have never made a prayer board before, oh my gosh, they're so cute. I thought they were adorable. I was kind of like, this is gonna be a weird craft. No, I actually ended up loving it. I spent like 2 hours on it. But yeah, it's adorable. So basically what I did was, one of the big ones that I put on my prayer board was like Jesus-centered friends, so I can make like more friends through God, right? You put like an envelope, so at least the ones that I saw in the way that I did mine was you put an envelope with your prayers and then another section with answered. So the other ones, you can put like the prayers that you have that end up getting answered like back into like the answered envelope. So I thought that was so cute. It was kind of just like, oh my gosh, like, and it's kind of nice because then you can pray for all of these things at once. Like I'll pray over my prayer board, like God help me with all of these requests, because sometimes I forget all the things that I've put down because there were so many requests. And it's not just for like make all these things come true. It's kind of like a 2025 year goal. So it's like everything that I want to do throughout the year, or everything that I want to accomplish with God, right? Because when I put like my goals in 2025 as like God-centered goals, I felt like they're a lot more achievable, because it's almost kind of like a team mentality. Like, because me and Jesus are on a team. So it's kind of like, okay, if we're on a team, then like, obviously we're going to do well together, right? The other thing is too, I like to think of like, how does Jesus treat me as his friend, right? Like we're called to be, like he is our friend. So how does he treat me, and how can I help to treat others that same way? So when I think about this, I try to often think like how merciful he is, right? Like people mess up, like we're supposed to mess up. We're kind of like his children. Well, we are children. We still act like kids even as we get older. So knowing this and going into it with that kind of mentality, like nobody is perfect. However, you know, Jesus did treat Judas so well that nobody could tell that he was the one that was going to betray him until the very end. So when you treat people with that level of kindness, it's just insane, like what that can do for other people and what that can model for other people who are maybe going through something. That is something that, you know, I've oftentimes struggled with. And when I think about that, it kind of recenters me, and it brings me back to the fact that like, even if you don't believe in God or Jesus, or like insert whatever you believe, just treating people. So for example, karma, your karma will be very, very good when you are very good to other people. I see the most beautiful, intelligent women, oh my gosh, I've ever seen in my entire life. And then they'll be cheated on like 3 times. They'll, you know, get kicked out of their house. They'll just, terrible things will happen to them. And I was like, no, this is where you level up. Like this is where you're like, so many blessings are about to enter into your life. It's kind of like the storm and then the calm afterwards. Like you're about to see just like rainbow skies and beautiful things just entering into your life, because all that bad had to clear away. And friends can do that to you too. Friends can cause you to go down a horrible path. We've all heard it, you know, before, like don't do drugs, or like don't do insert whatever it is that you do. And like if your friends are like that, then you're gonna end up being like that. So just always having friends that are better than you quite literally elevates you to their level, and you can go to them for advice. For example, one of my other friends, I've always wanted to become an author. She's wrote a book. So of course I'm texting her like all the things that she's done. Who's your publisher? What have you done? Like she's amazing, and she can give me so much advice, and she's better than me because she's published a book. And that's like, I literally love this woman, right? Like she's so intelligent, she's so smart. And I'm like, you can help me to reach my goals because you've already done it. And like, that's the thing, is like, I want to, you know, learn from you. And when you ask people for advice too, that's another really great way to make friends, because people want to talk about their goals and their hobbies, their, you know, projects, whatever it is that they're doing. And when you ask them for advice about something they love, it automatically just makes them want to be around you even more. So learning more about people, like that's a way to learn more about them too. It was a cool little psychology thing that I found out. But yeah, just like doing that, and then like doing things that you're also interested in with other people too. Like you can build a community around, for example, my hobby is ballet. I love to do ballet, yoga, which by the way, I did my first ballet class the other day. I went out and bought like a bunch of cute outfits and everything. I've decided to make it my hobby in 2025. No big deal. And the women there are so amazing and they are so ripped. You guys, ballerinas are the most fit people on the face of this earth. I'm convinced. I was sore for like almost a week afterwards. They're so ripped. Oh my gosh, and they can leap like 3 feet off the ground. I'm like, your guys' vertical is insane. Like, they're just so incredibly fit. And I was like around all these amazing women who are just so beautiful and they look so graceful, lifting their bodies off the ground. I'm like, I want to be you guys. Like, you're amazing, you know? They made me want to be better just by being in their presence. So being around people who are really good at things, or, you know, they're athletic or they're intelligent, or insert whatever it is that you want to do, and it will automatically just elevate you in the process, which is something that I've often thought is really cool. So I think, like, you know, just having that support, knowing that somebody always has your back, and asking for discernment too. So if you don't believe in God, or if you don't know what discernment is, it's kind of like, you know, your intuition, I guess, for lack of a better term. It's kind of like I just allow God to guide me, right? If a friend isn't meant to be my friend, like, I will allow him to show me. And oftentimes I've been really stubborn with that. Sometimes it's hard for me to see that with other people, but allowing him to come in and just asking him to, like, have me make new friends. Not even a week later, I will meet an amazing girl at church, or an amazing couple at church, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, I want to be your guys' friend. Like, you guys are so cool, you know? And allowing him to just give him that space to kind of lead me and guide me into just like healthier friendships. So, but if you don't believe, or if that's not something, you know, you're into, it's kind of just like your intuition, you know, like following what your gut feeling is, because I think as women, we definitely have a really good gut feeling. And I think even as guys, like, they still know when stuff is up. Like, they know when something's just off. They can always tell. They can too. But yeah, just being able to like lead with your gut too. And I think, you know, the first time somebody shows you with their body language or with their posture how they feel about you, because body language is a lot more than your actual language. Yeah, definitely like following and watching for that. The other big thing is too, is everybody's favorite word, no matter their language that they speak, is their name. I was given this advice and it has literally stuck with me for so long. So just using somebody's name when you talk to them makes them feel really good about themselves. So as soon as you find out their name, make sure you use it as much as possible. Use their name, so then that way they feel special, they feel safe, they feel like, because they're hearing their name repetitively, it makes them feel good about themselves. So this would just be my advice as far as friendships goes. And I hope that this helps you guys, and I hope that you enjoyed. Oh, do you guys see my hair? That looks crazy. I started doing the heatless curls, and they're just so fun. Not all the time, but sometimes they turn out really cute. But yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning into this video. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope that you guys learned something from it. Bye.